Hello everybody, I am live. So just wait for a few people to come into the room and then we'll have a little chat. Hello, hello, hello. Got a few people in the room. Can't see the comments though. Could someone say hello? And hopefully I can see any comments you may have. Hi Harry. Thanks for joining. So yeah, today's subject, as you've seen from the thumbnail, hopefully, we're going to be talking about, off the cuff, completely, does gender matter in fragrance? Thanks, Harry. I see that, mate. Appreciate it. Do we have anyone else in the room? Let's see if we can get a few more people in. Harry, I hope you're okay. We have 4 people in the room. Hi, Heather. How are you? Thanks for joining me. Very nice of you. I'm good, thank you, Harry. Very good, thank you. I bet you're looking forward to going back to school after all this time off. So we have a few likes on the thing already. So who do we have in the room? If you're in the room, if you could say hello. Hello, how you doing? Fraggy D, I love it. I'm good, thank you, Heather. I'm really good. Now, Bex is doing her fitness, so I thought I would use this opportunity to do a very, very quick live. I've got about half an hour-ish to have a little discussion on whether gender matters in fragrance, and I suspect a lot of you have your own thoughts on that. I've got to try and find a way that the comments stay on the screen because I'm doing this on YouTube for the first time, direct on my phone, and I'm not sure if I can just keep the YouTube comments on. They sort of just flash up as you talk. So if you are in the room again, if you could say hello, that would be great. But thanks to anybody that has joined me so far. We'll just wait for a few more people to pop in, and then we will we'll then have a little quick chat about it. Keep it simple, no. Now, hopefully my thoughts won't be too controversial on it, but I've got my own thoughts on it, and I think from the sounds of things, they differ slightly to some people, but on the whole, I agree with the masses in the fragrance industry that ultimately, no, it doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why. But again, thanks for joining. Has someone disliked this already? Oh, I haven't seen that yet. We will, someone's always going to dislike them, Harry. I have a dislike on most of my videos. Someone usually gets in there very quickly before they've even seen the video and disliked it. We've been live for 3 minutes, and if someone's done that already, shame on you. But thanks for joining me this evening. I'm just waiting for a couple more people, hopefully, to join the chat, and then we'll start and see what happens. So what I'm going to do just quickly is we have 6 people in the room. So if you're in the room, say hello, and we'll have a quick chat. Hey, John, the main person that I needed to talk to about this. So thanks for joining, John. Really nice of you to pop in and say hello. Don't forget to hit the like button, everybody. It'd be great if you could do that. That's great, Harry. Harry, what I would say to you, mate, is you need to release content regularly. So do as many videos as you can and keep releasing that content, and the subscribers will follow. John is the main person. Heather, the reason I wanted John to join is that John tagged me in his Instagram video. So I wanted John to get my thoughts on it too. I think John guesses probably what my thoughts are. So here we go. Let's start the chat. Right, personally, there are certain... Hi, Nick. Thanks for joining, mate. Personally, I struggle to wear what I perceive to be some feminine notes in fragrances. I'll give you a couple of examples of things that I love on Becca, but I wouldn't necessarily want to smell of it myself. And I think it's trying to get my head round that concept of it doesn't matter. Now, I can counteract that with other things, so stick with me on this. Hear me out. So I'll give you a fragrance and an example of something that I love on Becca, but I wouldn't necessarily enjoy wearing it on myself. And that is the VS Belle from Lancome. Now, I perceive that personally to be a very feminine leaning fragrance. And I love how pretty it is on Becca, and I love what it smells like on her. But I personally, it's not whether I'd be comfortable or whether I want to wear it, but I'd be worried what other people think. I just personally don't think that I would enjoy it. I've admittedly not worn it, but it's not something personally I want to smell of. I wear fragrances mainly for me. So it's not the worry that I go to work and someone says, you smell like a girl. I've never had that, and I've worn some feminine leaning fragrances. It's never happened to me yet. So I'm not frightened of wearing something that I think might lean feminine, but I like the smell on me, and it's something I'm happy with. So an example of that for me would be Mula Mula by Byron Parfums. Maya mentioned this when we spoke about it on Sunday, that does lean, to me, slightly feminine, but I love wearing my sample I had, and I would equally be happy for that to be worn by Becca or by me, and I think it smells gorgeous. But to give you some examples of things that I personally wouldn't be happy with would be things like La VS Belle, Alien for me. John, I know you love that, and that's fine on you, and I know that that can be perceived as a unisex fragrance, but I associate that fragrance massively with Becca, and with it being something that's very, very sort of almost, I hate using this word, but sexy on her, and a lovely fragrance for her to wear. So I then don't think I'd be happy wearing that because of that association. So I know I probably need to let my inhibitions go a little bit more, and I'm well aware of that, and I am prepared to wear things that are perceived to be more manly, more sort of feminine. Not got a problem with it at all, but it's just whether personally I want that smell on me, and that's how I feel about it. But there is an overall sort of belief that I have in this, and that is what a lot of other people have said, and it is 100% true. Wear what you want to wear. I will not judge anybody if they were wearing one thing that was perceived as masculine or feminine. I would judge on the smell personally. That's what I feel. But turn the tables round. Am I happy with it? Am I happy with how I'm perceived or how I think a fragrance smells on me? That changes a little bit. So I'm not as open with this as, say, John is. Now, I do buy into the ethos that there should be no gender in fragrance, and I think that would be amazing for the industry, for fragrance to be completely gender neutral, and then you just pick what you like. Now, it might be that I just don't like overly feminine fragrances, but you know what? I don't really like overly feminine, overly floral fragrances on Becca anyway. Things that smell, I don't know, too floral, like a bunch of flowers. I don't necessarily like that smell anyway, regardless of whether that's on Becca or me. So I'm a bit caught with this personally. I'm happy that fragrances should be genderless. Genuinely, I am. But that doesn't stop me not being 100% comfortable with how I smell or how I want to smell. So I'll give you the example. Again, Claire mentioned this, that if you're not comfortable wearing, you should be more of a manly man if you're more comfortable in yourself in wearing something that's perceived as sweet. I personally love gourmand and sweet fragrances anyway. I would wear them every day if I could. So that I've not got a problem with, and I understood where Claire was coming from. But on the other hand, I understand Dan's ethos of how he would want to smell and what are perceived as sort of manly fragrances. So it's tough because I think it's been drummed into us from an early age, and I think it's a little bit tough to lose that. But hey, they're my faults. That's what I feel about it. So I don't know what your feelings and thoughts are. Please leave me some comments. I'm just going to bring the comments up on the screen actually. So all messages are visible. There we go. Right, so sorry, I didn't see any of your comments as I was reading this. I had the wrong thing. Right, sorry, I'm just catching up on this, and then I can now interact with you a little bit better. So I apologise, I waffled on for a bit. I think it's interesting what notes are deemed as female or male. There isn't one. What is feminine, though? I think, John, sorry, what's feminine is... Apologies for this, by the way. I'm trying to get the comments back. My comments button has disappeared. Right, live chat, here we go. What is feminine, though? In a smell, what does feminine smell of? What's it made of? Does it ocean produce? See, this is the argument, isn't it, John? I haven't got, personally, all the answers, but I can give you examples of fragrances that I personally think lean slightly more pretty. So, hi, Jim. Thanks for joining. So, John, you're right. There are some fragrances that do lean feminine, and you're right that I personally love. Dior Homme is one of them. I just love an iris-based fragrance, and iris is, in the eyes of some, deemed as a feminine note. But I personally don't get that. I genuinely don't. I think white florals in fragrances work for me. So some of the examples are some Miss Dior. I think you mentioned that, John. Miss Dior to me is very pretty. And that's probably, I don't know, I don't see myself as a pretty person. So that scent profile, for me, I'm not personally happy with. But that doesn't mean that if you're happy with it, I would judge you. So I hope people sort of understand where I'm coming from with this, because... Sorry about that. My chat on this isn't very good, by the way. It keeps disappearing. So, you know what? This isn't going to be the best live I've ever done, because it's so thought-provoking and people have really strong opinions on it. But you know what? Some masculine fragrances, Dan mentioned this. Becca feels more strongly about this than I do, by the way, as a female. So, for example, Dan's Gravitas. She personally wouldn't wear that because of that old school barbershop vibe. She doesn't think that would work personally on her skin. But I have given her examples of fragrances that I think that would work on her. And she's worn them and enjoyed them. But something like Dior Sauvage, she wouldn't wear. So we must be completely a marketer's dream. And me and Becca have always been a little bit like that anyway. We spend far too much money on things that are marketed, that we look at and we buy into, and we're like, oh, we like that. So if something comes on the TV, whether it be food or clothes or trainers or whatever it might be, I am a marketer's dream, because if I see something I like and I can afford it, I'll buy it. And we seem to have had this thing drummed into us that fragrances are masculine and female. And you know what? I wish from a young age that personally wouldn't have been the case. Right. So I'll give you another example. And if I can find loads of ladies that would enjoy and wear this type of fragrance, then I will step away from this and say, you know what? My thoughts aren't relevant at all. And one of those fragrances would be something like Kuros. So if all the ladies in the house, I'm not saying to challenge you or saying that you'd be wrong in wearing this. If you are comfortable wearing that, like I've said, no problem with it. And you know what? If I smelt it on you, I'd probably enjoy it too. But would you be happy and comfortable, not just comfortable for other people, but would you be happy with the type of scent profile on you of something masculine like Kuros? So that's a perfect example, Nick. Blackbeard by Kalau Fragrances is, in my opinion, a very, very, very masculine fragrance. So I just wouldn't want to smell that personally on Becca. I'm struggling with this because I like, certainly Becca, I think I'd be happy with whatever she chose to wear, but luckily she's of the same thought process as me, that she likes things that smell pretty on her. But hey, tough subject, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. John did tag me. Hi Lizzie, thanks for joining. So I know that the sort of die-hard people that have immersed themselves into the fragrance community, and lots of others, are of the mindset that gender isn't a problem. Top banana, Lizzie, top banana. But you know what? Whether I'm comfortable or not wearing things, who's to be a judge of whether I'm right or wrong? Who knows? So bear with me 1 second. I think my son's after something. Shoes, what ones?
The Air Forces.
Yeah, we're back in with you in a moment. Josh,
Yeah.
while you're there,
Yeah.
they can hear you.
Yeah.
Does gender matter in fragrances? Or should a smell just be a smell?
I mean, you can enjoy what you want to.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have a problem with someone wearing what they want.
No.
But what do you personally think for you?
For me, I wouldn't be able to wear something that's like very floral.
Very floral. You didn't use the word feminine. Sorry, people, I'm back. You didn't use the word floral. So feminine. You used the word floral, which is fair enough. So you don't like florals too much on you.
No.
Do you like Dior Homme?
Yeah.
Would you say that's floral?
To an extent. But iris, I suppose.
But you like that?
Yeah.
So you like some florals?
It's done in a different way
Okay.
compared to a more feminine one. I need to go.
Okay. Right, Josh has got to go. But hey, he's got a similar thought process, I think, to me. So Josh isn't happy to come on camera. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, I think Josh puts it in a perfect way. Do we scrap the feminine and masculine thing? Am I guilty of that? Yes. If we was to scrap that and use notes instead as to what I'm comfortable in a note of wearing, maybe people would find that more acceptable. If you ask Becca's opinion on this, she is of she's got a stronger opinion than I have. She would say that there is no way that she would want me to smell of the VS Bell. She actually would go as far to say that's a turn off for her, and that she personally wouldn't want me to smell of that. She wants me to smell of things that are slightly more masculine. However, she does love Gormans and does like the smells of things like the Chronic on me. So there we go. Oh, it's a very thought-provoking subject, and I am missing lots of comments. You're right, Nick, you wouldn't see that at all. I wish my son was here to comment. Heather, what would he say? What do you think he would? Just personal taste, but definitely no rules. Thank you, Lizzie. I think that's a great way of putting it. Like I said, if we lost, which has been drummed into me, admittedly, but if we lost that masculine and feminine route and we just wore what we liked, no one would be judging me as to what notes are right or wrong for me. Whereas I think people, if they had a stronger opinion than me, they would get pulled through the pillars for something that they think is wrong or right. So, hey. Difficult to remove decades of social programming to know what we would do. It's very true, Jim. Very true. He wears whatever he wants, but I've not given him florals since those aren't my choice. Yeah, see, Heather, you love something like Istanbul, and do I perceive? No, I don't think that perceive that as masculine. They are very, very unisex to me. Harry's Harry's a very young lad. Anybody who should be able to wear anything, no matter the gender. Harry, that's a very grown-up thought process, and you are right, definitely. There is a place for feminine and masculine in the world, but I don't see why it's a matter in perfumery. Yeah, you know what? I think the problem is, Catty, that the people like certain smells on people and don't like others. And I work in a very, very masculine environment in the motor trade, and it is. I work with men's men, and although I've never had any comments, and I definitely would wear things that are floral, things like Dior Homme, things that they're not used to smelling, and no one's ever said anything to me, ever. So I'm quite lucky there. But if I went in one day, maybe I should give it a trial, smelling of La VS Belle. Would someone say anything? I'm not sure. You know what? I don't do it for other people. I do it for me, and I wouldn't enjoy that wearing. Well, who's to say I wouldn't? But I don't think I would. Yep. But I love everybody's take on this. You know what? Everybody's got quite strong opinions on this, and I think it's very thought-provoking, and it's something that I quite enjoy talking about, and I think I enjoy talking about it because I'm not all the way to where someone like John is with it. I am probably more middle with this, so sort of sitting on the fence a little bit in terms of how comfortable I am wearing certain types of fragrance. Yeah, and They do. I've noticed that, Nick. So someone like Demi Rawlin and Curly Sense and a lot of the big female YouTubers have forged their sort of YouTube channel based around what are conceived as more masculine fragrances, haven't they? I think it is going in a positive direction. I think the emergence of more niche brands into the market that don't gender their fragrances and that they make them unisex, that is only good for the industry, personally. If they make more of a dent into the industry, then places where you can't smell fragrances as easily anymore, like Boots and stuff like that, where they've got very much separate their fragrances into male or female, they will become more successful, I think, as online sales boom a bit more. So yes, as the emergence of different niche companies come through, I think that will only improve things in the marketplace. So I don't like this YouTube live thing. I can't see all the comments going up. I can only see a comment as it flashes up, then it disappears. So can I pose a couple of questions? I'm not going to ask you, John, because I know that you really enjoy pretty much a wide range of stuff. But let's ask, say, Nick. Nick, would you... I'm not saying would you be comfortable, because I know you would. But do you think that you would enjoy, personally, wearing Alien yourself? Knowing what that smells like, or La VS Belle, or Miss Dior, are you not just comfortable, would you enjoy it personally? And I'm not judging if you do or don't. Like I said earlier, wear what you want, and I do subscribe to that. And Nick, you do, fair enough, you do wear Alien. And are there any other fragrances that you wear which would be considered in the boot section in the female category? Is there anything else? I'll tell you what, another thing is that I've got too many fragrances that I enjoy sitting on these shelves behind me. A lot of them are classed as unisex that I personally wouldn't go to my wife's collection. Personally, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. I've got my own fragrances that I'm happy with. Great subject though, John. Thanks for tagging me. At the bar, you love At the Barbers. Wow, that's good. So look, I'm open to trying more. Personally, I'm open to wearing more. I'm open to wearing things that people recommend to me that I should give a go and see if I enjoy them. And ultimately, like someone has said, that you do wear fragrances for yourself. But I'm in a relationship here, and Becca's got to be happy with it too, on me. I want her to find me attractive. So, you know what? It's important that if I smell good and she enjoys that smell on me, whether that is gender neutral, whether it's unisex, masculine, feminine, or however it's perceived, I still want to smell attractive in her eyes. That's important to me. So I think, no disrespect to a single person, but if you're just wearing fragrances for you, in a relationship, you do wear fragrances that you know that your partner finds attractive on you. But Bets can also be unhappy with certain masculine fragrances. You're right, Catty, you really are. There are certain things that I would wear that she... But you know what? Honestly and genuinely and truthfully, I don't tend to go for those much anyway. If she was out of the house or doing something, then I would wear something maybe a little bit more challenging and use that as an opportunity, like camel scents, as Matt said. But they're perceived as masculine as well, you're right. So you know what? We could counteract and argue and not argue, but we could. This is what the discussion's about. I'm glad Matt's in the house. Matt, thanks for coming in because I know what your thoughts are on this, and I'm with you. And Catty, you've hit the nail on the head, and I did mention this earlier, that it is up to us to distinguish what we like and what we don't without maybe... Sorry, Lizzie's just put something there. Not going to lie, I love hearing that my husband say I smell nice. So that does count and influence me. So this is what I'm saying, Lizzie, and that I'm going to jump straight back on that. If Becca compliments me on something, and I'll tell you one thing, Matt's in the house. She gave me a huge compliment on Man in the Mirror. She thinks that's gorgeous, and she thinks that really, really suits me. But she hasn't reached for it. She hasn't thought, you know what, I'd like to wear that. And she would easily get away with this. I know that she would, but she wouldn't wear it. She thinks it suits me. She loves it on me. And that will influence how much I wear it. I'm not going to go with Camel Sense. I'm not going to go with La Vie Est Belle. I'm not going to go with Miss Dior. I'm not going to go with, let's say, I don't know, something with lots of oud in. I'm going to go with something that on a daily driver that I know that she's going to enjoy too. So there we go. It's nice to get compliments from even your partner that you live with. Hi Russell, thanks for joining. Very nice of you to come in and join the madhouse. That is my live talking about and me muddle my way through is gender important or relevant in fragrance. So I am a bit torn, as you can all say. I'm not trying to contradict myself, but as you can probably tell from my discussion, I am torn as to what I like, what I'm comfortable with wearing myself. But personally, I don't give a monkey what people outside of my household think. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to get John's comment back up. Man in the Mirror, surely that's traditionally feminine. And what turns out Amor's copying an unknown Lancome female fragrance called Pink Princess. John, you know too much. Why wouldn't a woman who absolutely loves a men's fragrance wear it? You know what? I know a lot of people that wore... I agree. I know a lot of people that wore Jean Paul Gaultier women that really enjoyed wearing that when I was younger and would purposely go to my collection and spray it on. And they loved it. So, yeah, I know a lot of women, and especially in my friends, circle of friends within this industry, everybody I know enjoys what's perceived as masculine. What is masculine? What is feminine? I think we need to establish these words mean, Stan, before we can date and move on. That's a great, great shout, Nigel, because if you're asking me and I'm no expert and you say to me, what is a masculine fragrance? I have been asked before. I can't remember the name of the guy. He did a video on it. And a masculine to me would be, I could tell you what a fragrance could smell like that I know that Beckham wouldn't necessarily wear, but that's the only association I've got. So you ask the next person and they're very different, aren't they? So, you know what, it's tough. Fragcom already has terms to describe perfume. Why don't you just use them and not masculine or feminine, floral, flow rather than feminine? Jim, my son said that, didn't he? And you know what, I'm guilty of it. I am very guilty of it, and I need to maybe completely change my mindset as to not use that expression. Women tend to go for musky, sweet and floral. Men tend to go for citrus, woodsy and leathers. Whether we think it's right or wrong, the numbers tell a story and marketing goes on those numbers. Very true, Matt. Hugo. Fairly pleasant, sweet, classy one. Yeah, Harry, you can use your phone. I'm using this is my phone. It's not a computer, as you can see where I'm touching the screen. This is my phone, so you can use your phone. I see what you mean. Okay. Well, you could still, I think, use your phone to stream. I'm not sure. I'd have to get my brother to talk to you, Harry. He could tell you how to get around that. Hello, thanks for joining. So, yeah, like I've said, I'm a marketer's dream, and I am what everybody is complaining of. When I go into Boots, I personally go to what there is the men's section, and I look at all the new fragrances from there. So I am 100% guilty of not going over to the what are perceived as the ladies' fragrances and looking in there. I will look for Becca. So I have had that drummed into me from very early on. I think I'm still fairly new to this, but you know what? I love, love, love what niche companies are doing. Parfums de Marly are guilty of what Boots do as well. They're a niche company. And niche Parfums de Marly have their very sort of blue and black and bottles in there. They do market them as unisex, but they're very much, they have a different bottle for what's perceived as gentleman's fragrance to what the prettier looking bottles are for the female fragrances. So Lizzie knows that. Lizzie's got Delina exclusive. She's got some lovely fragrances and some very beautiful looking bottles. And Becca would love to have those bottles sat on her shelf. And the other bottles that are perceived as unisex are in a more masculine sort of design. So there are niche companies that are guilty of this too. But one company that aren't guilty of this is Gallivant. Gallivant don't market for gender. All the bottles come in exactly the same packaging. So you don't get to choose. And with that in mind, it's lovely going into that and finding what you do or don't like. So let's pick a couple of fragrances that I shouldn't be using as feminine, but let's use them as more florals. I personally didn't enjoy that much because of the scent profile, and they were quite floral. I didn't enjoy Tel Aviv, and I didn't enjoy as much Amsterdam, because they were quite, in my eyes, quite heavy on the florals. And Tel Aviv I see as a very pink fragrance in terms of how I imagine it. And there we go, Nick. So completely to completely counteract, and you love Tel Aviv. Whereas it's strange, isn't it, what we find? Maybe I've just been too used to smelling those type of fragrances where I establish it as pink in my brain and just don't enjoy it on me as much. It's such a strange thing. And yet in some fragrances, fragrances that have rose in, for example, I don't enjoy all rose fragrances. Yet there's a rose fragrances that's marketed for men that I think would work equally well on a lady. It's marketed towards a man, and that is Burberry Brit. That's got a gorgeous rose in that I really, really like. Really like this one. I think it smells gorgeous, and it's got quite a heavy rose in, and I don't consider myself as liking rose fragrances, and yet I really like that. So hey, this argument for me personally, especially from where I'm coming from, is full of contradictions, absolutely full of contradictions. And I don't think, other than fragrance 100% should be gender neutral and wear what you want. That's my overall take on the whole thing. Wear what you like, wear what you're comfortable with. If I rock up and Nick is wearing Alien or John is wearing Alien or Tel Aviv, I'm not going to say to Nick, oh, you smell like a girl. That is not me at all. I would say, oh, if I like the smell on you, I'm going to say, oh, what are you wearing? It probably surprised me, actually. But so from that point of view, I'm okay with everybody's argument. But where the contradiction is am I personally comfortable with how I would smell with certain types of florals, especially? No. I wouldn't want to smell like a vagina either, Lizzie, to be fair. What would be wrong smelling like a girl, though? Well, that's not what I meant, John, by me saying you smell like a girl. I probably wouldn't associate that at all. But unfortunately, some people do. But hey, not going to win this argument, and I'm not trying to. Like I said, I'm contradicting myself through anyway. It's a difficult subject because of how we've been programmed. People think that the Mao and 24 Platinum. Where's my comments gone? Apologies, people, for touching my screen and rocking the camera. People think that the Mao and 24 Platinum apparently smell feminine, but I wear them. I also like Paco Rabanne Olympia. Don't have a full bottle. I bought Creative Pour On for Louis Cardin. My wife wears it because I think it's too floral. Bless Tony, you're doing your best here, and at least you're tackling this via live. Much appreciated. Yeah, I think it's quite a tough thing to do. If you script a video, I'm not saying you did this the wrong way, John, but I could have probably put this across in a way, if I'd scripted and edited and put this across, it personally for me wouldn't have come across in the right way. By doing a live, you're putting yourself out there to criticism, to people's different thought processes, and this is what this is about for me, is getting those out there for people to argue about, for people to discuss. So I think, I mean, seeing the comments and seeing what people are saying is important to, as I think Lizzie said in the chat there, that to tackle that subject, to do this live, I think that it does put the argument out there. And I know not everybody is going to agree with my thought process, and it's a good job Becca isn't doing this live, because you've asked her, she's got a stronger thought process on this than me. She would not, and it is the scent profile, you're right, but she would not be comfortable wearing Dior Sauvage. Yet you put something like Purple Gourmand, Raspberry and Vanilla in front of her, she would be happy with it.
What up?
And as if by magic, I don't think she'll want to come on camera because he's in her gym wear.
Proper sweaty.
Becca is looking sweaty. Some people want to be guided to fit in. They need to be told masculine or feminine. Others want to be made of their own mind, need a guide. So let everyone do their own thing. And if you don't, you know what, Matt? Knowing me by now, do you think that I massively, massively care if someone said I smelt like something they didn't like? The only person's opinion to me that matters is Becca's.
Woohoo!
And unfortunately, she's got a stronger opinion of this than I have.
What are we talking about?
So we're talking, is gender important in fragrance? And right, I gave some examples.
Yeah.
You said that you love the smell of that on me.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried it? Would you be prepared to give it a wear in, see if you'd like it on you?
Hi everybody, by the way, I'm not coming on camera because I look like a sweaty mess.
There you go. She looks like a sweaty mess.
No, I wouldn't.
Is it because you like the smell?
Yeah, I love the smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So John, I think, mentioned that the original version of where this would have come from was actually aimed at a lady.
Mm.
Would that change your opinion
I
of
can
that?
see that, yeah. But I suppose it's all personal opinion, isn't it? I wouldn't expect you to walk around smelling of La V.S. Belle, for example.
Yeah, that's like the example I've been giving.
Or what's another really girly one that I've got?
Miss Dior.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to walk around smelling of Miss Dior. So in some circumstances, yes, it does matter.
John's put here, what grinds his testicles are Sauvage could so easily have been put in a pink bottle. Then we'll be having the same argument probably that a man couldn't wear it based on the marketing.
Okay, get it out. Let me have a sniff. Get the bottle out, I mean.
I'm not getting anything out. Right, 1 second then. So we're doing this live. Now, I put myself out there. I've contradicted myself about 1,000 times so far
Oh,
on
here
this.
we go.
So I'm really getting muddled up. And the thing is, I can't disagree with everybody's arguments either. You can't. Oh, that wasn't my bum. It was my chair. It's a squeaky chair, honest. Dior Sauvage. Give yourself a spray. You've got to go and have a shower anyway.
There is no... I'm really sorry.
I
but
love
there-
unisex fragrances like Whispers in a Lorry, but don't really feel comfortable wearing typically masculine. See, this is what the argument is, though, isn't it? Because what's masculine? Oh my God, Tony,
This
that
is
belly is bigger
masculine.
than mine. Thanks for pointing that out, Darren. I already know that. Thank you for that.
No, I'm really sorry. I've got
Fat
to...
shaming me. Sorry.
Is that your brother?
Yeah. He's on camera fat shaming me.
He's doing my job for me. No, I'm sorry. If that was in a pink bottle,
Yeah. You think you would turn around and say, you got this wrong.
100%. I'm sorry, John. I love you, John. But talking shit. I'm joking, John. It's your opinion.
Hey,
No.
Barry.
100%.
Thanks for joining this rather lovely... I'm just saying hello, sorry. Carry on.
That is not 1 ounce or 1 iota feminine. That may be feminine for...
What's masculine? What's feminine?
What do you mean?
So, what would you say is masculine? What makes a fragrance masculine?
It's that musky smell.
Okay.
It's that ambroxan smell, I think. It's quite
Okay.
masculine. So, Givenchy Gentleman,
That's got a lot of iris in, though.
1 million.
John's put, but you like Dior Homme on Tony.
Yeah, I've tried that on myself.
That's a woman's fragrance, but you only ever smelt it on a man. No, Becca
No,
has.
I've worn it.
Becca has worn it, and I don't think that you were of the opinion that you really didn't like it on you.
As I got hotter,
Yeah.
it emanated more of a manly scent.
Okay.
But I wouldn't go and wear Issey-Miyake, for example. I wouldn't go and wear 1 million. I wouldn't go and wear Spice Bomb. Maybe the new one, because it's a little bit girlier. I wouldn't go and wear the Zara one.
Zara, what, Rich Warm Addictive?
No, I wouldn't wear that.
But that's definitely a gourmand.
We've had this argument loads of times. And do you know what it boils down to?
Yep.
It boils down to the preconceptions given to us through our lifestyle.
Okay.
Now.
And would you be more happy if the gender section in Boots, for example, was just completely just fragrance?
What do you mean? It is.
I.e. they weren't in pink bottles or blue bottles, and it's not. So if you go into Boots, there's a section for females and there's a section for men, isn't there?
No, because then you could... No, because I personally think I'm very old-fashioned, though, in some ways. I'm not a feminist. I'm not, 100% girl power, girls should be equal, blah, blah, blah. Because there's some things that men in life do better than women, and there's some things that women do better than men. Like multitasking, raising children, and, we can multitask a little bit better than men, right? So when it comes to fragrance, there are certain fragrances that men should be able to feel comfortable going to in a section where they have a variety. Say, for example, every Tom, Dick and Harry on the street. We're not talking about fragheads. We're not talking about people who know notes in fragrances. We're talking about the average Joe Bloggs on the street and the average Mrs. Joe Bloggs. They are not tuned in to every single note in a fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
So when they go into a high street shop, I'm not talking about niche fragrances or anything like that because they're not genderised. I'm talking about a high street shop, Superdrugs, Boots, whatever. people feel comfortable going to a section that is aimed towards them.
Okay.
So, a guy who has no clue on what fragrance he likes or what fragrance his partner likes, he will walk into a shop and go, well, there's the men's section, that's the women's section. Okay, well, fine, I'll go and have a look for myself. And then, oh, I've got to get the missus one. Oh, okay, well, that's the girls section. It narrows it down for the average Joe. And
Okay.
I think what a lot of people, yes, you can go and wear what you want. You can go and do what the fuck you like every single day. But marketing is marketed for a reason.
But do you think, and I think this is true, so John would agree with this, there would be, because of that almost sort of, not brainwashing, but I wouldn't go as far as that. I think marketers do things well.
It's all about
and it
making
sells,
money.
and
It's money.
It is money. But there might be the perfect fragrance in the men's section for you that you think is gorgeous on you, and you've missed out because you've not gone to that section.
No, you're missing the point.
And the same for me. If I'm going to the men's section, which I do.
But the average Joe blogs don't think that way.
No, but they might be missing out on their perfect fragrance.
You could be missing out on a lot in life.
Yep.
Because you don't go out of your comfort zone.
And you know what? One thing that you touched on, what I like, is that if the average Joe, not a frag head, goes into a store and it's not gender neutralised, so it is male and female, do you really think they give a monkeys? The same as, say, I would or John would?
I generally think...
They don't care, do they? The average person doesn't really care.
I think it all boils down to, right, let's take it away from fragrance for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Guys at work.
Yep.
Laugh at you, take the piss out of you because you wear face masks.
Not
Because
to
it's
work.
No, in your own time, because it's not a manly thing to do.
They don't take the piss out of me for it.
They call you, like,
Okay, Tony.
feminine. Yeah.
But they've never ever once mentioned my fragrance.
Because nobody sniffs you, babe. They don't go walk up to you and go, oh, what are you wearing today?
No, that's true.
I think it's...
Hello,
I'll
Carl.
ask you a question.
Okay, oh,
I'll ask you a question.
okay, go on, go for it.
Right, we're on our first date. You've never met me before.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Take it back 3 years, right?
Yep.
Actually, take it back to our first date, so 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
You meet me for my first date.
Yep.
In your head,
Yep.
just don't think too much because you overthink and you waffle. We all know this, right? Take it back to what your preconceptions would be of me rocking up smelling of what? What would you, as a male, going on a first date, want your female to smell like? Don't think frags. Don't think like anything now. Think back then. What would you want me to smell like?
You know what? I think. Good question. I'm going to answer it without waffling too much.
Don't waffle too much.
No, I'm
and
not.
Don't overthink
I'm not.
it.
I'm not overthinking it. But there is one thing that makes the answer to the question quite difficult.
Yeah.
Right. I don't like overly floral fragrances.
No.
You don't like overly floral fragrances.
No.
So how do I explain a fragrance that
Sweet.
comes across as feminine that I wouldn't be comfortable wearing? And you've got fragrances like that. What are they?
No, I'm not asking.
It's tough,
that.
isn't
You're-
it?
You're going past the question. I'm asking you to think on your feet. Like we ask quick fire questions. What would you want me to smell like? Quick fire, go.
Something sweet,
Right?
something pretty,
Yeah.
not overly floral, so not like my grandma.
No.
I know that's going to trigger some people in the room.
Yeah.
Nothing too powdery, I suppose,
Right.
to give you that sort of older person. So something youthful and pretty and would come across as feminine. That's going to trigger some people as well.
Right. So I'll cut
tough,
you
isn't
there,
it?
Right.
It's
So
tough.
that
Yeah.
basically eliminates Sauvage. It eliminates Dior Homme. It eliminates Paco Rabanne 1 million. You're basically.
No, it wouldn't eliminate Dior Homme. I think that would smell gorgeous on you.
But you just said powdery. Dior Homme's powdery.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So you're contradicting yourself. So
I've contradicted myself about a million times so far in this.
you ask me the same question, I'll say, oh, something manly, something really
Right.
like.
But something manly, you don't like really strong ouds.
Nope. Skanky Oods.
You don't like some really strong barbershop style fragrances because
No.
why? They maybe remind you of your dad.
Headache.
Okay.
It's like really overpowering stuff gives me a headache. So
I think what we've done in this, right, is that if anyone is coming to ask us to fight for genderless fragrances, we're not going to be the ones people come to.
if somebody had chosen me to fight for anything to do with fragrance, I would have a heart attack myself, because I'll openly admit I know nothing about fragrances. I am average Mrs. Joe, probably irritate a lot of people with my basic nose, but I stand for the normal people you pick off the street. Why do you think Jeremy Fragrance marketing his fragrances for males, females? Then he brings a unisex one out. What one does he bring out first? Date for men, because it's marketing, it's money making.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, according to all these top fragrance people sitting in an office tapping away on computers, all they're thinking about is the pound size. Ding, 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 ding. Boots. It's easier. Men, women. If you want to go in the men's section and you're female, do it. If you're male and you want to go in the female section, do it.
I'm going to spray something on you again. You got another free hand?
Yeah.
Now, these are marketed 100% unisex. And there is one thing in there that I would love me to smell of, that I'd love you to smell of. Just want to know if you'll be happy with it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I just want you to smell it, okay? Mm. So this is completely being... Lizzie says that she loves you. She's so honest, but she cannot lie. One thing that you will know about Becca, she just, like, literally, this is one of the reasons why I love her so much. She's, like, literally the most honest person I've ever met in my life. What you see is what you get. Now, that sometimes can be a pain in my arse, but she knows that.
You know where you stand, babe.
I know exactly where I stand. If I've upset her, I know it. I just love her to bits for how honest she is, even if it triggers people.
Gets
Right,
in trouble.
right. So I'm not going to tell you what this is. Let me show the people in here though. Don't look. So this is. Oh! Can they see that? Well, I'll tell them afterwards because it's not coming up on the camera properly. Right. Let me give you a quick spray. They're unisex, bear in mind. Do you like this?
No, it's too smoky. That's by the fireplace, isn't it?
It is, yeah. She guessed it straight away. Oh, see, I've just got a whiff of that. Would you not be happy smelling that? In any scenario?
I'll be happy to snuggle you where smelling of it.
Oh,
Me,
it's just so gorgeous.
it's not dainty enough. It's a lot to take in for a female. It's
Dainty's a good word. Is that acceptable without triggering people?
dainty, yeah. It's not dainty fragrance. It's quite a challenging fragrance for the average person to walk in smelling of it. It's nice.
It smells gorgeous.
It smells like toasted marshmallows.
You know what? I've got a massive, just 2 little sprays, and it's just filled this area.
Do you know what it reminds me of, though?
Gorgeous. Yep.
It reminds me of sitting near a bonfire and smelling your hair.
Yeah. Kit Kat's put, and I like that, Kit Kat's put dainty is a neutral word, I think.
Yeah, it's dainty fragrance. You can have some dainty, like Penhaligon's, Kuros, dainty.
But I wore it the other day and you went, what are you wearing?
Yeah, it's not like
Quercus.
cow on your
Quercus.
face.
Nigel's put, hold on, Lizzie doesn't like by the fireplace. I love it.
I like it, but I wouldn't want
Lizzie,
to like it.
would you think you'd like it on someone else, or you should not like it full stop on you, or give us an answer on that one. I'm guilty of calling my babies fragrances, and the wife so-called perfume. See, this is Nigel, full of and that's not a dig at you. I'm doing the same thing. It's the contradictions that we have in this argument are tough to tackle, I think.
I think it all boils down to do what the F you like.
It's exactly what I've said and exactly what a lot of people are saying. Would you judge someone else on how they smell?
Of course not.
Exactly.
I would judge people on their personalities.
So
if they're an idiot, then yeah, I don't like you. But I won't go, you smell like Rose.
or you smell like a girl, or you smell like a boy.
Yeah, go away.
Exactly.
No, I wouldn't.
This is our point. We don't care, and in terms of do what you want, wear what you want, wear what you're happy with. If everything was gender neutral, I'd be happy. I'd be a very happy person. But that doesn't mean that my contradictions aren't valid or are valid. Hey,
Okay, give me 2 minutes.
Barry changed my opinion of Joe Malone. I thought was feminine. Oh, do you want to see my little doggy? He's just come to say hello.
Everybody's seen that little doggy.
Here he is. Here he is. Say hello. Hello. Jackson loves cuddles. Look, just loves cuddles. Loves cuddles. Right, here we go. I wore once, this is Lizzie, I once wore Baccarat Rouge 540 and my mum said I smell like a man.
I love Baccarat Rouge 540. See? That's a gender neutral fragrance. So, I'm a bit of both. But, I wouldn't, like, so, Purple Gourmand, Raspberry Vanilla, Vittor's Mon Cherie. There's things in your collection that I would happily wear, but the more masculine, darker fragrances, no, I wouldn't.
So we can put those into a different category, can't we? The different category we could put those into are like a gourmand style fragrance.
Gourmand, yeah, 100%. I think
we
gourmands.
we both love as sort of what you would describe as a unisex fragrance. But when Claire did the video with Dan about 10 best gourmands, Dan mentioned that they might be too sweet for a man, and Claire triggered that. Well, if you're not comfortable wearing it as a man, then and that's what started this whole debate. And personally, I agreed with her point on her take on that. That I am comfortable wearing that sort of thing.
You don't wear it though.
Gourmands, I do. So a sweet Baccarat Rouge 540 is a perfect example.
You haven't worn that in ages.
I haven't worn it in ages, but Mon Cherie, the Lost Cherry one. Taking a mick out of me behind here. So yeah, great subject. I said I'd be on for about half an hour. Now I'm for an hour. Crazy. I would like feminine and masculine not to be used and talked about in perfume category and notes. So if we used, are we allowed to use dainty? But no, so for example, don't use masculine and feminine, but say things smell. Josh came in and I asked Josh about the question, does gender matter in fragrances and what do you personally not like? And he said, I don't like florals really. He didn't use feminine, which was quite
Hang
clever.
on. When was the last time you saw a fragrance advert on the TV? Bearing in mind it has been a little while now because of obviously COVID. When was the last time though, truthfully and honestly, that you see, apart from the model, that you see on the TV that goes, oh, Paco Rabanne, 1 million. For men. Nobody actually says that. They just use a male model.
Yeah, they do.
So the actual like brands, they don't actually go, here, have this because you're a man. They just use a male model. So are we just interpreting it completely wrong?
Yeah.
They'll go through the notes, fair enough, but they don't exactly go, oh, here, this is
Hi,
for
Scott.
a man. It's like the Lancome advert. It's got what's her name in it, but she don't turn around and go, for women.
I think some of them do that. I can't remember which ones they do, but I think they do.
I think people just need to stop overthinking the situation.
Okay.
Stop worrying about what the F other people think of them. Wear what you want. I personally will still go to the girly section in boots because I like that style of fragrances, because I like to wear something dainty. Unless it is something a lot richer, like Baccarat Rouge 540 or I can't think of anything else. But that's just me. Nobody's going to judge me any differently to how they're going to judge you or how they're going to judge anybody else with what section you go to in Boots, Harrods, Selfridges, wherever. Do whatever you want. End of conversation. Nothing more to discuss.
So I could have just basically made the video last for about 2 minutes if you
Yeah.
just come in and said that from the start.
Do what you want. Do what you want, mate.
Do what you want, mate.
Yeah.
So there we go. So we have lovely people debating this in the background, and I think they'll all agree with most of that.
Yeah.
Wear what you want, people will certainly agree with.
And if adverts bug you so much, you need to get a different hobby.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, the day and age that we live in, it's all about money making. People will advertise however they want to advertise, and if that bugs you, maybe you need to take up a different hobby, because you should just take it on the chin and go, oh, I want to smell that.
Yep. John, I for one wouldn't judge you wearing what you want to wear, and you know that. So wear what you want. I know you feel really strongly about this. It's quite obvious. I'm not as bothered by it. I'm really not. And that doesn't mean that I don't advocate genderless fragrances, because I personally think that would be a better place for me with my taste and what I like, for me to go into a place and just smell it on its own merit and then say I like or don't like it. I think personally I'd have a better experience with that personally. But for the average Joe that has no clue, that would be an absolute minefield, I think.
Yeah.
And am I right in saying that? Would you agree with that?
Imagine a teenage lad going into Boots and having all these fragrances.
It's too much. There's too many.
At least single it down for the less like-minded people.
Yep.
To help them along their journey.
Yep.
And he might have a friend that's got something different. Like Josh's friend Nat came round. He sniffed a couple of things he'd never even heard of.
Yep.
So I think you just got to view it as it's helping the average Joe blogs on their fragrance journey to find something suitable for them.
People say about like not masculine and feminine, but I don't know how else you describe something if you're not into notes in fragrances. I can say what ambroxan now smells like. I can now say what iris smells like. I can now say what different citruses may smell like. I'm getting better as I go along. When I started the journey, and well before then, I had no clue that the Orom even had iris in it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have even looked it up. I just would have gone with, do I like the smell or not? Quite simple. Do I like the smell? Would I enjoy wearing it? Easy.
Job's good in.
Right. I think it's been a great live, and I really appreciate... I don't make any money on YouTube, Harry. I don't mind me saying it. If you go into YouTube wanting to make money, you'll be very disappointed, because you have to have many thousands of subscribers to make any money from it. So I make nout, zero. As Barry's just said there, nout, nothing. And you know what? Even when I monetize, it will be pennies. Me and Becca joke about this. I will get to my monthly earnings, I'll go, oh, I've got £2. So this hobby costs me a lot more than I'm ever going to make from it.
Did you know? So Phoebe, talking about YouTube making money.
Mm-hmm.
So you know she watches Tiana.
Yep.
Tiana's got 3 channels, I think. So on one she's got 11.8 million subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
On another she's got 8.5 million subscribers.
Yep.
So combine those together, and then she's got another one. It's ridiculous. You
Oh,
need to go into gaming.
They're millionaires, aren't they?
You're in the wrong bit.
I know. They've got crazy house as well.
Yeah, you need to go and just.
I think Phoebe's
gaming channels.
I think Phoebe's convinced though at some point that I'm going to be a millionaire.
She spent your money already, babe.
She's I think convinced. And you know what? It was lovely. Becca said this the other day, didn't you? You said, look, when you get bigger, and I was like, what do you mean when I get bigger? You think I'm going to get bigger? And he was like, well.
I meant because of all the cakes you've been eating.
well.
Babe.
Oh, I got the wrong end of the stick. No, it's nice to know that you believe in me as well. But
That's
no,
if I don't offend a lot of people and they just unfollow you, babe. Maybe I'm not good for your channel. Maybe I should just hide.
you're brilliant for my channel. Everyone loves you in my channel.
Not sure about that.
Not everyone, maybe.
I think I irritate John sometimes.
I think you just wind each other up. I think
he
you
just
trigger.
wants me to shut up.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
I think he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we love you all. thank you for watching. It's been a lovely little live, and I'm glad it turned out like that. I'm glad Becca came on. I'm glad Josh literally just popped in for seconds as well. It's good to get people's opinions on this. Chris is very late to the party. Yes, you are, Chris. So what are you doing? Have you got a life outside of this? Obviously you have.
We're not angry, we're disappointed.
Yeah, we're not angry, we're disappointed. You're going to go on the naughty step for, how old are you, Chris?
You can't say that.
35 minutes on the naughty step.
You can't say that.
But no, that's okay. Literally joking, I'm sorry. Thanks, Chris. I will see everyone a bit later. We've got no live this Sunday, so I thought I'd get a quick one in today and get into this subject. It is a subject that I think that I'm quite interested in, but I think it's very thought-provoking. And you know what? I'm going to read the comments back. I cannot wait to read them all back properly, because going live on YouTube, the comments are really funny how they work on your phone. They pop up and then disappear. So I need another device again when I do this.
Breathe. Those are a lot of words in one sentence.
It was. But hey, thanks again. I've said goodbye 3 times now.
Yeah, shut up.
Thank you, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to keep smelling wonderful, and over and out. Again, thanks to everybody. See you later. Bye, 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 bye.